Welcome back to Big Up DNB Reviews. Tonight we got some new releases. Wanted to go over some of my recent pickups. I am a huge drum and bass fan. Still picking up a couple records each month, even though I don't DJ out anymore. So let's get started. Right now, we have the latest by Chris Inperspective on Inperspective Records. I am a buy-on-site fan of Inperspective Records. They helped bring in the heavy drum funk sound of like the mid 2000s when drum bass was starting to get real boring, in my opinion, and there wasn't a lot of quality control going on. Jump Up was king at the time, and the Jump Up stuff that was out at that time was terrible. Lots of squelchy whistle bass. Clips, I'm looking at you, Twisted Visual, that style. So I really gravitated towards drum funk, and Inperspective Records has introduced me to some of the best drum bass artists that are still around today, that are still crazy innovative, not always doing the drum funk thing anymore, but you could find ASC on Inperspective, you could find Equinox, you could find Breakage releasing a lot of stuff, Fracture and Neptune releasing a ton of stuff. So really good influential artists of today. Just Inperspective Records was like the people that was signing those people first. So this release actually on Inperspective is by Chris Inperspective. It's called Dragon. It's the Dragons in the Wind EP. Starting out with Dragons in the Wind, which is this real experimental, kind of drum funky. It's really chill. Not the type of thing you're going to hear in the club, but the type of stuff that Inperspective Records is so good at. Just different, atmospheric, really good beats. After that, we've got Clock Tower, which starts out with the Soul Pride break, which is my all-time favorite James Brown drum and bass break. I think I like it better than the Amen, which is pretty controversial to say. It goes into some distorted, heavy kick basses. It's got, it's kind of a thinking man's piece. In fact, the whole EP is real, it's headphone music. It is not club music, but I love it so much. Next, we move on to Amber's Bush, which is much more of a typical drum funk tune with some atmospheric stuff, lots of break layering, lots of chopping of the breaks. In my opinion, it's the weak link of this EP, but it's still a damn good drum and bass song. And then You Understand is more of a two-stepper, a little bit more traditional stuff, but it's kind of that dark, liquidy sound that Chris Inperspective does. When he's not releasing his own stuff. He's released stuff on a bunch of labels, Exit, Hospital, definitely good stuff. And on top of that, this one has a very cool clear vinyl. Oh wait, no, it's gray splash vinyl. I forgot about that. I know it's kind of cheesy, and I know a lot of people don't like them, but I love colored vinyl. I will never buy a record just because it is colored vinyl, and I won't buy a record just because it's black. I buy it for the music, but when I get cool colors at the same time, I'm pretty excited about that. If you like experimental drum bass, to me, this is a top release recently. If you want something that's a little different, I highly recommend picking this up. I'd bag it in a second. Next, back to my recent futuristic jungle obsession. Can't stop buying this stuff. I just hear it and I get so happy. This is by Escape, and it's called the Arrowhead EP. It starts off with Arrowhead, which is just amazing modern jungle. Huge bass, those Hoovers that are filtered, those Reeses that are filtered. Subs and sirens, and it keeps building. It's modern jungle at its best, and it's what I want. On the B side, we've got two tunes, Straight Up and Breakbeat. Oh wait, no, that's the label, Straight Up Big. This one's Black Tiles and This Generation. The Black Tiles is kind of a more atmospheric, LTJ, good-looking type tune. And This Generation's a little bit more traditional, but a halftime break. I really dig this tune. It's, these are the type of tunes I play out even more than the modern jungle stuff. The modern jungle stuff never gets, it just kind of chases people off the floor. But moving on. Next, we have another release on 1984. It seems to be a theme of these new vinyl videos I've been doing, and that's because it's quality control every release. In fact, I think I've got Alex Perez's next one coming out. As we've stated, 1984 is Alex Perez's label. This is actually Monty, who Alex Perez seems to be a big fan of. Most of Monty's releases have been on 1985. It's got that standard 1985, like, very cool art all around, even on the labels. It's good stuff. It's this release is kind of dark, minimal steppers. Starting off with a tune called Hello Dark, because it's the Hello EP. Hello Dark is got it's got a lot of flair. It's got some style to it. You can tell that Monty spent a lot of time working on audio engineering for this one, and like filters, and he's doing a lot of knob twiddling that, clearly live in the recording process. It's good dark funk. Limbo is, another heavy filter. Monty clearly likes to spend time twiddling knobs on synths, and it sounds like it, but it's good and it's dark. Really like it. And then Legion and Intoxication are on the B side. Legion's kind of a Nero funk, more technical, heavy, dark stuff. Not always my favorite style, but I like it when it's coming from someone interesting. Like, what I don't like is the stuff I get bored of is the tear out Reeses that are filtered 1,500 ways from Friday, and I know they took hours and hours to sound engineer, but I think it just loses all its soul when it gets overproduced like that. Monty here is keeping it live enough and loose enough for me to really kind of get into it. An Intoxication is deep, reverbed bass lines. That's a terrible word. This was probably the my least favorite of the songs, but we still got some solid stuff going on there. If you like the 1984 style, you like Alex Perez's stuff, I recommend grabbing this one. I would buy it again in a heartbeat. Next, we have Threshold with the Black Diamond EP on AKO Beats. AKO Beats is run by I can't remember his name. The guy who ran one of the guys that ran Reinforced for years and years and years. Very cool blind. Oh, nope, that's Black Vinyl. I must be thinking of a different release. But this is the one with Humble in the Jungle, which is an Amen rinse out raga tune. I mean, it's got 4 great tunes on this, but you just go out and buy this now for Rumble in the Jungle. Amazing modern jungle. I can't recommend it enough. I'll link, the Spotify link to this will be up. And go listen to it and be happy, because this is like raga jungle at its best. The rest of the tunes are all great, but I don't want to spend any time talking about them, because Humble in the Jungle is what you need to focus your time on. Go listen to that Brock out, Call for Rewinds and all that shit. Last, we got Seba on Commercial Suicide. So, Commercial Suicide and Seba I'm big fans of. I've been big fans of both of them for a long time. Commercial Suicide's one of those labels that hasn't always released everything they've released. I haven't liked, but you can always tell Clute is putting out stuff that he really likes. And Clute, I think, is one of the most amazing producers in drum and bass, along with Seba, to be honest. Seba has quality control, unlike so many artists, and has, probably as close to as many releases Caliber, and Caliber is constantly releasing music. Seba's been around in drum and bass since the very beginning. He was on GLR for a long time. It's amazing that he can still put out music this good. This one, though, is on a very cool gray vinyl. Like I said, I did color vinyl when I have it. So Seba is known for his good-looking stuff. He works with Paradox constantly, and then he does his solo stuff, which is a little bit more mainstream than what he does with Paradox. Paradox is kind of got that grumpy old man thing where he thinks everything in the past was better. So a lot of his tunes kind of sound old school, but they remain, rooted in right now sounds. That being said, as big of a fan as I have been of Paradox in the past, I find his stuff is just getting stale and it all sounds the same. Sometimes you gotta jump on board and do something different. But that isn't to say you're not going to see me pull out plenty of Paradox and talk about how much I love him, because I think he's a truly innovative producer that's been around for a long time, and he's flying the flag for the right things, even when I find some of his music kind of boring at times. So these two tunes are curved boundaries on the A side, which is this super bouncy. Not bouncy. It's got this kick. The kick bass is the actual bass line of it, and it's hard hitting, kind of dark. You kind of feeling like it's gonna be like a stepper, and then he just slowly brings in like those atmospherics and builds it up in an interesting way, like Seba only does. I mean, this is a pretty hard tune for Seba, and it's not super intricate in the breakbeats how he sometimes does. But the way he brings in the atmospheres, and it really keeps the tune alive all the way to the end. I totally dig this song. But that being said, I am pretty much obsessed with the A side. I mean the B side, "In Your Arms Again." It's got this really simple drum line, but this bass line that's like relentless, really fast, stabby. Bum 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 beat, and it just builds and it flows, and there's all these atmospherics that interact with the bass line in such an interesting way. This is one of those ones where this song's on my running list, my playlist, and will be on there for a long time because I'm not going to get bored of it anytime soon. It's fun, it's dance floor, it's interesting. So, if I was to pick out two releases of all these five, the two that I'm going to say, like, you got to run out and buy is the Seba and the Humble in the Jungle. That's not to say that everything I picked up this time I don't love, because I do. I wouldn't buy it if I didn't. Vinyl's too expensive for that. But if you're looking for my personal picks, run out, grab that Seba, run out, grab that Threshold before they're sold out, because they're hell of tunes. Anyways, if you dig what we're doing here, make sure to like and subscribe and comment below and let me know what you think.